Hey everybody, welcome back. What do we have here? Oh my gosh, this was an amazing find that I kind of stumbled upon when I went to Blade Show West this year, and I met up with the awesome people at the Hogue Knives booth. Now, I'm going to run through them. It was Neil, Bill, Kayla, and Justin, and they were there hanging out. As soon as Bill and Neil saw me, they were like, "What's up, Zach?" They're like, "We want you to check this knife out." This is the Hogue Deka. Now I'm just going to give you a quick look. I'm going to show you then what comes in the package, and then we'll get into some comparisons as well. So stick around for those. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate it. Leave your feedback below. Let me know if you're going to get one of these. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. What comes in the box? So in the box you get this nice little padded zippered pouch. Very, very nice. Also comes with the usual Hogue Knives box. A couple, I think I got a sticker and a little instruction booklet inside. So that was pretty cool to see as well. So we're going to get this stuff out. I'll put it up here just a little bit out of the way. Let's look at this knife. Now I want you to just take a guess and tell me what knives this compares to. And while we look at it, this is their G Mascus, which is a Laird G10 that you can see right here. Got the nice barrel spacers in there. But it's just a nice Laird G10. And it's got some texturing. So if you can see where all the markings are, hopefully you can see the texturing when you get up close here. How it's kind of milled in right there. And just provides for some really great grip. And let's talk about the pocket clip. Pocket clip, pretty fairly middle of the road. I saw a couple early ones that came out of, I think, Blade Show. A couple of these that people got at, I think, the Gathering, but they had a solid milled clip. Wasn't a fan of that, so I'm kind of happy and glad they went with this clip. Got a little bit of Hogue branding on it. It also has right-handed, left-handed tip-up carry, which I'm a fan of. So the only thing I would say for the clip is the screws on this side, and this side, of course, but I like the idea that it's milled into the handle, as you can see right here, but I'm not a fan of the screws sticking up a little bit. So you can see how much those stick up on both sides, so it'd be kind of cool if those were recessed, but first generation of these. But man, let's talk about the lock. So let's get this beautiful knife open, and let's talk about that Able lock. Now I'm going to look at my notes because I have to write down the Able lock, but it's similar to an Axis lock after the patent expired from Benchmade. This is the Able lock, the Ambidextrous Bar Lock Enhanced. Now that came from, Doug Ritter working with Hogue and all of their precise machining that they do. Another knife that we will look at in comparison, but it's the Hogue Ritter RSK1. We'll look at that one here in a minute on comparison, but this is a mini-sized version of that Able lock. So let's get a good look at it. It's hard to see on the inside, but you get the idea. You've seen this setup before. And it's just a shrunken down, a mini version of the full-size one that's on that Hogue Ritter. So, coated blade on this one. You can see a little bit of branding here, made in the USA. It is an Elishewitz design, Alan Elishewitz. The blade is of a CPM 20 CV. Now, it has a flat grind to it. If you can see here. You can see kind of the grind lines coming through here. A little bit of swedge cut in at the top. What do you guys think? A little bit of jimping at the top. Nothing too aggressive, but it's aggressive enough that it'll stop your thumb. Now I have a large size glove hand. It's got some, some really good milling out here and contouring of the handle. So you got good spot for your index finger, and the rest of your fingers kind of fall in line right through here. So kind of just very natural feel, especially for, this small of a knife. and your thumb is right there, you're ready to go. So for me, man, I picked this one up and it just instantly went right to the access lock. Bam. You know, smooth. I tightened it up a little bit. It was really loose. Now this one, thanks again to Neil and Bill. They really hooked me up with this one. I was able to purchase this one from the show, Blade Show West. This was a, you know, kind of a pre-production model they've had on display. But I wanted to get it out to you guys. They understood. The launch of this is coming very, very soon. Only place I've seen it so far online, Blade HQ. They have 4 versions of this that are available. I'll put a link down below to the page where you can check them out. Retail is going to be $175, but I think Blade HQ is running them for about $148. They have a black version, a black on black, so black blade, black hardware, black G10. Now, if you're the tactical person or want an all black blade, that's your go-to right there, because the only thing you'll miss out on is seeing the really neat texturing, because it kind of blends in. They had a black one on display at Blade Show West. It was really cool, but you kind of miss out on this detail, the texturing, and kind of their patterns. So they have another version, which is this one with a regular blade. They also have a version that's blue and black G-Mascus, kind of a lava G-Mascus that you're familiar with the other Hogue knives. I'm hoping to get that one. So when that one launches, I really hope I get that one. Gear toward gear. Don't buy them all. Leave me at least one. I'm going to try to buy 2, but we'll see what the bank says. So anyways, so this one, I really dig it. I mean, it's smooth, it's lightweight, and it's slim. Really slim package. The scales are slim. Now, you've probably come to a determination of what knife this looks like. Let's get into anything else that I may have missed on the details. Overall length, 7.5 inches. You can see it on both sides. The blade length, 3 1/4 inches. The handle length by itself, 4 1/4 inches. Let me know what you think of this textured G-Mascus too. It's a little rough for gripping, but it's not hard like you'd see on others. It does have a stainless liner. Hopefully we can see it inside there. Kind of comes back to this screw, so it's not a full liner, but it's kind of an embedded one that's cut into the G10 on the inside. So you can kind of see where it is right there. So digging that. Now the weight on this, 2.39 ounces. 2.39 ounces. So it's lightweight. You know, you're in that perfect EDC category. Yeah, holy cow. So what I want to do is next, I'm going to cut this video. I'm going to clear out some of the stuff. I'm going to do a comparison on a whole bunch of knives that are in the neighborhood of this knife and ones that this is going to be a direct competitor of. You got those ideas. Let's check them out. All right, welcome back. So as you can see, we have a scale ready to go. But let's look at some direct comparisons for this Hogue Deka. Now, this one right here is going to be probably, in my mind, the most competitive. This is the Benchmade Bug Out. This is the 535 GRY-1. And this is some scales that I dyed red. There's also some companies out there that'll do it as well. But so let's take a look at these. Let's take a look at them side by side. I mean, what do you think? Direct competitor. A little bit thicker G10 than the FRN that comes on the Bug Out. But I got to tell you, solid feeling. I mean, we've seen my video, right? Will it flex? But you've also seen the video of what'll break these, which it takes a lot. But let's look at the weight. Let's do a direct comparison of those really quick, just because I want to show you guys what we're looking at. You can make a informed decision, as David would say from Blade Banner. So 2.39 was the registered weight there. So this one's coming in a little heavier. This one's 2.59. So let's move it up. Let's double check it. Zeroed out. This one's saying 2.59. So a little heavier than what was registered on there. So you got probably at least, these should be like 1.88. Yeah. So 1.88, this is your lightweight. 2.59, as we were just going to bounce it off the scale. I don't know why the scale reads funny. Just kidding. But anyways, so yeah, that's your weight difference there. But yeah, so the Bug Out, the Deka, good competitors. Now you may ask yourself, I didn't like my Bug Out, so I went and I bought aftermarket scales. I got some G10 from Rogue Blade Works. I put them on. Here's your direct competitor there. Now I will say the only difference that I'm seeing is when I grip this, you can kind of see where my hand falls. And then when I'm gripping a Bug Out, you can kind of see where my hand falls. And I have a little bit extra room because I don't have that tapering that comes down on the Deka. So as feedback for me, that would be the only thing. Is it's a little bit more tapering through here. And the other issue that I ran into was the tail end of this handle. I wish this would come out and be a little more square. And why is because when I close this, I'm closing a knife and I'm pulling back the access bar or the able on the Deka, and I'm pushing into the kind of the meat of my palm and then flicking my knife closed. So when I push down, this, being a little more square helps it so it doesn't sink into my palm. So when I'm doing it with this one, how it's already cut in, it goes in quite a much further into my palm. And the knife, there's not much clearance here between the end of the scale and the knife tip, which is fantastic. They did wonderful on that. But when it's curved like that, the first time I did it, I came back and got the meat of my palm right there. So it's just something I got to be a little more mindful of, but that's the only negative that I have that came out of that on the handles. Now, we will talk about the screws in a minute, but let's look at the G10 and just do a quick comparison there. So you saw that. The G10 runs about 2 ounces from Rogue. There's also one other G10 I want you to look at, and that's the new one from Flytanium. And the weight on those is 2.31. So 2.3 to 2.59, we'll call it 2.6. So pretty similar almost on these two. And when you look at the comparison, pretty darn close. So I think, we know where Hogue's going with it. I like it. I like competition with that because, the Bug Out, we haven't seen any G10 models. We've seen the carbon fiber one, which was awesome, the gold class Bug Out. But we're looking for that G10 version. We're seeing some Battle Wash and some other versions coming out, which are fantastic. I have them. You've seen my videos. But, we're really missing that solid G10. And I think Hogue's going after that market, These have been out for a while, They've been showing them off for the last 6 months. So I think that's kind of cool. But let's look at compared to a couple other knives really quick. And I guess maybe we'll keep the scale up. Make the video a little longer, but I appreciate you guys sticking around and check it out. Pair of 3 lightweight. You guys probably want to see what the comparison is here. I'm trying to line them up pivot to pivot. Pretty darn comparable too, A little less in the handle on the pair of 3. Angles up more quicker, or this one comes out a little bit more. A little more of a recessed area for your index finger. They do have a little bit of a forward choil on this one, so you can choke up, or not. So there's some differences there. 2.6 on the Hogue Deka, pair 3 lightweight, 2.3. So kind of in that same category up there. Let's look at a couple others here. Benchmade Griptilian, full size. We'll just do that. Obviously much bigger. We don't need a weight comparison on that one. One of the ones that I've seen you guys carrying, especially in the Instagram pictures, is the Southern Grind Spidermonkey. And this one's really close. So you can see just comparison-wise how close that is. This one being the liner lock, which you just got to be careful of. I got myself with the red one. That's 3.19, so you're half an ounce or more heavier going with the Spidermonkey. Let's do one of my favorite 940s. I have like 3 favorite 940s. Okay, more. But this one, you can see comparison-wise, even going after, 940, we can see how thin the comparisons are here. And just look at that. So, really an all-around good knife, the Deka is. Fits many categories. But let's compare it to kind of, what I'm saying is like bigger brother for internals. And that's the Doug Ritter, Hogue knives, RSK1. There's a whole bunch of other letters for it, but let's just call it the Hogue Ritter, because that's what we're calling it. So yeah, M390 blade, here's the axis lock comparison, but to what they've defined as the able lock. Check the notes, ambidextrous, bar lock enhanced. So you can see the comparison in size-wise. It almost looks pretty close, but they've milled it down just a little tiny bit. So hopefully you can see that. I don't have measurements, but just a little bit smaller from what I see on here. You can tell just on the top of the able bar there, and what you see from this side as well. See if we can put them a little bit closer for comparison. Get them in the light there. What do you guys think? Obviously the bar itself. Oh, this one's locked up a little crooked. Huh. I'll have to look at that one in a minute. But you can see the bar itself, size-wise, isn't as long. So just made everything a little bit smaller. Tucked everything in there. Pretty comparable. Yeah, just a great set of knives. I think they did good with this one. The last one I want to compare it to is going to be a mini Griptilian from Benchmade, just so you can see the comparison with size. Now, you can see the blade's going to be a little shorter. You're also going to get, let's match it up, pivot there. You're also going to get a little bit more area in the back. So you're going to have, another 1/2 inch where you can get your fingers on compared to the mini Griptilian. This is also slimmer than the mini Griptilian. So, the FRN is probably the slimmest that they make in the mini Griptilian. The G10, the one they made for the mini Griptilian is a little thicker. Which, it, to each his own on those. But I think this one's going to be a hit. I think it's a win. I think they did really good with this one. One of the feedback items I told you I want to talk about was the screws. So 2 things. One, you can see like they do, blow it out there. But like on the 940, Benchmade has the liner screws that show through. It's doing the same thing on the Deka. So obviously it's one of those that they're getting so thin that it's hard to, bring everything to that one and get the good lockup. Especially when you're looking at these 2 that show through right there are for the actual frame, or not the frame, but the liner lock. Not liner lock, the liner. Dang it! All right, I'm getting all confused. All these knives here. Anyways, the other one would be the screws that stick up on the pocket clip. I'd love to see those just flushed or much lower. The ones on the handle, they recess pretty good, except for these top 2. Because of the milling, they show up just a little bit, but you don't feel them in the hand at all. They blend in as part of the texturing, so I think it's pretty good. So one of the things that I would recommend is if you like, a bug out, if you're worried about flex, if you're worried about the weight of it, you just want something a little more solid, this is your knife. If you're looking for a new everyday carry knife that's going to put up to the elements, and take care of business and have a great blade steel, I think this is for you. You know, CPM 20 CV. If they offered it in a deep carry clip or offered a deep carry clip option, I think that would be tremendous. Now, I've carried this one for about a week prior to doing the review, so that's why I've waited to put this out, and it's worked great. The clips work fantastic. The knife has worked great. Like I said, I took it apart, cleaned it, re-oiled it, re-Loctited the pivot, just because it was the show display, and it was really, really worn in and loose, which it was fantastic, but I wanted to make sure it was something that would go back. So a really good amount of testing has been put into this, just the action of the lock and pivot here, the able lock and pivot, and it's holding up like it's brand new. So just had to take it apart a little bit, you know, clean it, oil it, re-Loctite it, and good to go. So anyways, I really appreciate you sticking around for this review, especially with how long it's gone. Let me know down below. Check the link to Blade HQ. If they do post them up on Hogue, I'll add that link as well. If they come out with other color options with other knife retailers, I will put that in there as well. But I think for everything you're getting, Blade HQ, like I said, it's $148 for this, and it's the G10, the upgraded steel that you've seen. So the Hogue Deka, this one's a win for me. So really appreciate you guys. Thanks for all your feedback. Thanks for checking out my videos, all the support. Don't forget, more giveaways coming up, so hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit that little bell so you get notified when I'm doing giveaways. Thanks again. Shout out to Hogue for the opportunity to purchase this and use it and get a review out to you guys prior to the launch. So anyways, hope you guys are doing good. If you saw my other live video the other night, you might see what's in the future for this knife. So that's a little hint for you. Take care, you guys. Do something kind for someone. Have a great day.